Hi everybody, this is Bastiaan, and this is the annotation of a game I played against the Grizzly chess engine, rated about 1900, and the opening used is the Saragossa opening. And the Saragossa is a lesser explored opening, so there's not as much theory on it as say other openings. Play starts with 1 c3, and this already is violating opening theory because we're not taking a share in the center. c3 is a preparing move to perhaps later play d4, which is pointless for the moment because we can play d4 right from the start. But we're also creating an open diagonal for the queen, so the queen can go to a4, b3 or c2, and on c2 can control the c2 g6 diagonal. Black immediately plays d5, taking control of the center, and queen c2. So if at this point we play d4, we are back in the terrain of familiar openings, but queen c2 is played, and queen c2 is actually an opening system, but it's so obscure that I haven't found any theory on it myself, and I had to develop most variations of it from scratch. e5, no surprises there, and d4. Now at this point black can exchange and lose a center pawn for a flanking pawn, and it also opens up the c file for the queen, so it goes on a half open file, and black plays knight c6, move adding extra pressure on the d4 pawn, protecting e5 in case if I were to exchange, pawn takes pawn, but also it blocks access to the c7 pawn from the queen, so that's an excellent developing move from black. So I can play pawn takes pawn and knight takes. However, this wasn't played. I play e4 using my queen to protect the e4 pawn, but now I'm gambiting the d4 pawn because there are two pieces attacking it. So pawn takes, and I develop knight to f3, pawn takes pawn again, and knight takes. So I've given up a pawn, but I have three pieces developed versus one for black. d4. Now there are two main continuations. If black were to play pawn takes pawn, I can recapture with the queen with check and get some development in case black were to block the e7 square. It's one possible continuation, but black simply advances the pawn, pawn d4, thinking the d5 square is an unsafe outpost for the knight. d5 was played anyway, and bishop to e6. So now we can see black attacking the d5 square with two pieces, and indeed d5 is unstable and the knight has to move or have to play something else, something drastic. But the move the engine missed, and you have to be a little bit creative when playing the Saragossa, but there's nothing wrong with that. Move that at least equalizes and gives white a lot of attacking opportunities is bishop to a6, and bishop to a6 undermines the b7 pawn, creates a fork between two pieces, and allows queen takes knight. So after the obvious continuation, pawn takes bishop, this is actually a huge blunder for black. We get queen takes knight check, and of course king can't escape because of the knight. And black can't block with the queen because queen takes rook. So black has to block with the bishop. Then we get knight c7 check. Again, black must decide to sacrifice the queen or to move his king. And if king moves, we get queen c5 check, forcing king to f6. Then queen g5 mate, which is one of the many traps in the Saragossa. So pawn takes bishop, doesn't work. What else can black try? He can continue with bishop takes knight, which is probably best for black, but still gives an advantage to white. And then white can continue bishop takes pawn, forking the two pieces and threatening a check, also attacking the bishop on d5 and attacking the knight in case the bishop moves. So with the bishop moves, we get bishop takes knight check, not bishop takes rook, bishop takes knight check is best, blocks. Then we take the rook, for instance. Alternatively, if black tries to play rook to b8 in order to escape from the attack of the bishop, we get bishop takes check again, take check, queen d7 to block, and knight to d4. So black's rook is safe, but we have recovered our gambit pawn and we're up a pawn as well, and white is winning, which are possible continuations if black plays if black moves his bishop or moves his rook. But none of those were played. Black instead plays knight to b4, and this triple forks queen, bishop and knight, and black's bishop protects the knight. So we either have to move the queen or play something drastic like a check, and knight takes pawn is played, so we're forking king and rook. So black has to move his king. Now black is still threatening knight takes queen, pawn takes bishop, and king takes knight. So the queen threat has to be responded to first. We get queen a4 check, sacrificing a piece for the moment. So king takes knight, bishop f4 check, so we're seeing the king being driven in the open. Bishop f4 check develops a piece for free, but also creates a threat with rook to c1. Bishop d6 in order to block, and now we can play queen takes knight, and black can't recapture because of the pin of the bishop. We're gaining a piece temporarily because pawn is still attacking the bishop on a6. So pawn takes, bishop takes bishop, and queen recaptures. Rook c1 check, and we still have an attack on the queen, so the king needs to protect it. King d7 is basically forced. and queen b7 forking the rook and the king will recover the piece. King has to move. King e8 was played, and now queen takes rook with check.